Nothing worse than getting ready to go, heading out to your car, getting in, especially this time of year. It's cold, it's chilly. Yeah, you get in your car, and then this. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to jump your car, check your battery, and change the battery if need be. Let's go. This is the time of year when this happens all the time. It's cold out. If your car's been sitting for a little bit, it happens. The battery can just quit. And especially if it's an older battery, the cold plays a big part in the health of that battery and just kills it. So today, my battery's dead. So I'm gonna show you how to jump it, show you the tools that I have to jump it, show you the tool I have to check it, and then most likely replace it. So let's get under the hood, look this thing over. This is my 2011 Lincoln MKZ. Popping the hood just to look at the battery and giving it a visual inspection, I can already tell you one thing. This is a Ford Motorcraft battery, which means it's either the original, which would be amazing if it was, that lasted so many years, but chances are the previous owner, who I happen to know, was very meticulous about maintenance and everything, and only went to a Ford dealership to have any kind of work done on this vehicle, probably had this replaced there. And so I've had this car for quite some time, and I don't replace batteries from the dealership. So I can probably guarantee you that this battery has seen its final day. But we're gonna jump it and just get this car started. So remove this rubber boot. Obviously on a battery, as you know, just like the little batteries you put in your flashlight, a car battery, same thing. You got a positive, you got a negative, and then cables or contacts that are made with those posts. But let's get my jump unit. Here is my jump and carry unit that I got. This is something that you actually plug into your home outlet, and it charges up, but you can use this to carry around with you or go help someone in need who's in need of a jump. It's portable. It also has air supply if you got a low tire or something like that. You can even run some other accessories on there. There's like the DC outlet, like your accessory plug if you need to run stuff. What else do we have here? Like I said, we've got an air supply. We need to inflate some tires, but these things are heavy because they hold a lot of juice and can jumpstart most vehicles. So I'm gonna look at the tester. It says I got a good charge on this thing, so let's hook it up to the car. What you want to do is put your clamps, obviously you see the plus indicator, that's your positive, this is your negative, and we hook that up, this to the battery, and we will hook this up to somewhere metal on the car, preferably the frame or some other ground source. It's a way to protect the battery, not hooking it up directly to the battery. You want to hook it up to the ground source somewhere on the car. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll remove these cables here. Go ahead and, so they're spring loaded, clamp this down on the positive post. And then this, there's some metal over here. Let's see, I think this should work. Right there. All right, I got enough cable. I can set this on the ground safely, fire up the engine, hopefully get it started. Now, what you're gonna do if you get this started, the alternator in the vehicle, the charging system in the vehicle will then begin to charge the battery. If the battery still has some good life left to it, it will accept the charge up the battery, and then you're good to go. Oftentimes, if you leave like your lights on inside or something inside the vehicle that drains the battery, you can simply jump it, allow the charging system in the vehicle to get life back to the battery, and you'll be fine. Once a battery has worn itself out and it won't accept the charge anymore, it's not going to do you any good. You'll get the car running, the alternator generates the power needed, the electricity needed throughout the vehicle, but it's not going to charge your battery. You'll need to replace this. Otherwise, you'll park somewhere, you'll get to your destination park, you won't be able to start your vehicle back up. Let's see if she even starts. Success. Got the car started. Gonna let it run for a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and unhook my battery box, my jump box. I'm also inside the garage, so I'm gonna go ahead and open the door to be safe. Now, what we can do is let this run for a good while to see if this thing will charge up. Engine's running smooth, but I'm gonna drive it around, come right back here, and then we'll put the battery check on there to see if it's accepted the charge. All right, back from my drive. Let's go ahead and pop the hood and have a look. Check out this battery. Today I'm going to be using my Ansell, I think that's how you say this company's name. It's the AD410 Pro. This is also a code reader. What I like about this, it's a battery tester and a code reader. So if you have your check engine light, you can plug this into your car. Underneath your steering column is usually a plug that receives this kind, and it will read what's going on with your engine. This also has a battery check, so I'm gonna hook this up and connect this to the battery and see what's going on with it. All right, I'm gonna try to do this so you all can see. There's my gizmo there. And once I connect it to the battery, it comes to life. And we want to do, the battery test. And it's showing 12 volts right now. We've got a cranking test, we've got a charging test. The charging test will check your alternator and make sure that's producing juice. But let's do the battery test. This is for a car. Here's where you enter the type of battery. They have regular flooded battery, AGM, which stands for absorbed glass matte, I believe. A gel battery, and I'm not too familiar with EFB, but those tend to be more of the advanced batteries. If you have a vehicle that has a ton of electronics, something along those lines, that it really needs an advanced battery to power all those things. I'm certain this is just a regular flooded. I'm pretty sure there's no indicator that it's an absorbed glass, but we're gonna go with the regular flooded. And then your input. This is cold cranking amps, CCA. How are you gonna measure this? What is it doing to measure this battery? The DIN, I believe, is a German manufactured battery or a German battery with German specifications. The JIS is Japanese. We're just gonna do CCA, that's cold cranking amps. And this one is I don't believe it's 600. I think this battery is a 560. Let me just double check. 590. This battery is a 590. All right, so I entered 590, and I'll show you on the battery itself. Right there on the sticker, you should be able to see 590 cold cranking amps. So that's what I'm measuring this battery by. So we have that. Go ahead and enter, and it's testing. Health is look at this, 2% health, 98 amps, nowhere near 560. Charge, 25%. This is not good. So it's telling you right there, replace your battery. Pretty cool thing. All right, let's do what it says. To remove this battery, it looks pretty easy. Really, there's two main posts on your car battery, and they have like a clamp type that is tightened down via bolt or screw. And you just need to loosen that and get those connections off of the posts of the battery. Now, the battery is usually secured in its tray, and I'm not certain just yet how this one is secured. Chances are the design of the battery probably has an edge down at the bottom. Don't just start trying to yank this battery out. There's kind of like an edge down at the bottom that is tightened down. You're gonna need to remove that to get this battery loose and out of the way. So let's first start by disconnecting these two power cables to the posts. For this particular vehicle, I'm using a metric number 8 to loosen these connectors. And you want to be careful. Don't want to arc anything. Just do one at a time. And then it should slide right off the post. There we go. And this one, a little different design, but same idea. It's just tightened down, just need to loosen it. And that should come off the post as well. Get that out of the way. I needed to get my flashlight. I want to show you this here. Down inside there, you can just barely see that bolt head. But that is holding the battery down. Just like I thought, there's an edge down at the base of the battery, and that's tightening it down and holding it in place. I'm gonna loosen that. I'm gonna need a long socket with an extension. Get that loose so I can yank this battery out of here. So a little different configuration here with the tools. I got an extension with the same size number 8 socket. And I'm just gonna go down there and loosen that. Shouldn't be on real tight. You can see how the battery is getting loose. I'm gonna try to get it with my hands now because I don't want that to drop. Not quite loose yet. Okay, battery's loose. I'm gonna try to lift this out of here now. Oh, these batteries are not light. You can see down inside the battery tray and how that worked. This is what was holding it down and in place. Nothing more than that. Real easy. Okay, here's the new battery. Pick this up. It is not the Ford Motorcraft. This is a Super Start Premium. I went down to Advanced Auto. Now, when you go, if you have to replace a battery, if you're gonna do this on your own, you have to tell them the year, the make, the model, and the trim. they'll be able to match the battery that goes in that vehicle, because sometimes the configuration is different on these batteries. Sometimes it's a bigger battery, sometimes smaller. The post may be on the side rather than on the top, or set up differently. So you got to make sure you get the right one for your vehicle. So I'm going to set this down. Actually, in the original setup, there's a jacket that goes around this battery, probably like a little bit of an insulator. I'll go ahead and replace that. Put this off the old. I'll put it on the new. Slide it down and around. If it'll fit, it's ripping. Like that. Let me go from underneath. Okay. Set it down in the tray. Oh man, these things they're not light. Okay, this should sit down there good. And then you have to make sure your battery's secure. You don't want it bouncing all over the place. We gotta get this down back into the spot so it holds the battery. It's a tight fit, but there we go. And then you reverse the process. So I'm going to tighten this down. And a lot of these are plastic components here. This tray, the hold down. So you don't want to over tighten it. Just good and snug. Prevent it from bouncing around. That should do the trick. Give it a test there. We're good. Put the positive. We'll tighten that down. Definitely don't want this slipping off. Cover it up with the boot. And then the negative. And tighten that down. Good to go there. All right, you want to make sure all your tools are picked up. You don't want to leave a wrench laying in the engine bay. And that's it. That was all there is to it, how to replace your battery, but most importantly, how to check your battery. I'll put a link to those tools that I have in the description in case you're wanting to pick up the same thing, but really nothing to it. Took a few minutes, obviously going to the parts store and picking up everything and making sure you have the tools, but having the tools makes all the difference in the world. Just so you get something a readout that says this battery is no good, you need to replace it. As always, be safe out there. It's always good to have a jump box. Things happen. You leave something plugged in, you leave like the light on, it can drain your battery. Headlights on, something like that will drain your battery. You just need a quick jump. Those jump boxes really come in handy. You can get a big one, moderate one, whatever your budget is. The tool to check the battery, I've seen those as cheap as 25, 30 bucks, or you can get an advanced tool for upwards of 80 plus. You don't use them a lot, but when you do use them, they really come in handy. I'm the Capable Gentleman. Hope you found this video helpful. Let me know, drop me a comment below. Also, be sure to drop me a thumb. Appreciate that. I'm the Capable Gentleman, showing you ways to go from dirty to dapper, to encourage you to never stop learning. Till next time. There it is. Be kind, everyone. See you next week.